Alright.
No.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Great Minds podcast. Uh, Everything in life happens for a reason. We're just here asking why. My name is Uriah Gillespie. I am a philosopher.
And I'm Michael. Hi.
All right. Mike, why don't you ever call yourself a philosopher?
Because I'm not a philosopher.
Okay. But yeah, we are going to. We haven't done this podcast for a while. Um,
Uh-oh, where'd you go? I don't know what to do here all by myself. Hello. My let's try that again. Hello?
Hey,
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
We're
Um,
back online. Yay.
so sorry everybody for that long, like 12 minutes of dead air time. Um, Hopefully you have skipped to this point, in the video. Uh,
That
but
last portion of the video was brought to you by T-Mobile.
yeah. Um, well, you know what? Since we have pretty much skipped the first 15 minutes, I'm gonna skip the news part of
I'm down
our
with that.
of our segment because wasn't about Trump anyway. um,
Basically, all we gotta say is, as far as the news goes, we plead the fifth.
yeah, yeah, and I feel like my sink is gonna need a new Fauci.
Uh,
um, so skipping past the news portion today, um, we are talking about the final sin in the seven deadly sins that we have not yet covered, which is wrath. Um, Wrath, the Latin name for wrath is ira. Um, and just as a refresher, um, a the seven deadly sins were come up with by a fourth century monk, um, and then refined by Pope Gregory. I can't remember the name of the monk, like Pontus of Agrius or something
yeah,
like that.
Pontificus. I don't know.
Something wizardy.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, so oh, hold on a second here. So, wrath is one of the seven deadly sins defined as uncontrolled, excessive, or disordered anger, rage, and a deep desire for vengeance. Um, Ordinary anger can be a natural balanced response to wrong or injustice. Wrath occurs when that anger becomes an all consuming hatred, lasts too long, or seeks cruel and unjust punishment against others. Um, and the punishment for wrath is in Dante's Inferno, the sin of wrath is punished in the fifth circle of hell, located in the muddy, swampy waters of the river Styx. The punishment is split into two types of angry souls. The wrathful souls, uh, the ones who were like actually violent in their wrath in life, and like beat people and hurt others. These souls thrash, strike, and tear each other apart with their teeth and hands in the filthy marsh waters, forever acting out their violent rage. And there's the sullen or repressed anger, pretty much the people who hated life, hated humanity, and were bitter. These souls swallowed their anger and refused the joy of the sun during life. Now they lie completely submerged beneath the muddy surface, unable to speak, only bubbling up heavy, unintelligible sighs and gurgling words.
So they're
Um,
submerged. Wow.
yes. So yeah, they are. Yeah, they're in the swamp waters of the river Styx.
That is picturesque, though, because wrath is kind of like an anchor. So
Eh? And honestly, wrath hurts you more than it hurts the person you're doing it to.
yeah,
Mm.
same as hatred.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
Poison that tastes of righteousness.
well, yeah, and hatred was at one point in wrath's place as one of the seven deadly sins.
That makes sense. They're kind of interchangeable,
Yep.
but I think wrath is probably more just like what happens when you hang on to anger instead of letting it pass.
Yep.
You know?
For this punishment, this is a great example of in Dante's Inferno Contrapasso, which is nature of the punishment. The punishment mirrors the sin.
Yeah.
So it's getting a taste of your own medicine. Now, in the Japanese hell, the core hells for anger and violence are Tokatsu Jigoku, or the reviving hell, the Shugo Jigoku, or the crushing hell, and Kyokan Jigoku, which is the screaming hell. In reviving hell, it's designated for acts of violence, harming others and killing out of rage. Sinners are hacked and beaten to death by demons or Oni, only to be magically revived to suffer the exact same execution over and over. In the crushing hell, geared toward destructive violent impulses where souls are crushed flat between massive colliding mountains of iron or rocks. God, that's horrible.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the screaming hell for intense malice and rage where sinners run across burning ground, get locked in iron chambers, or have boiling metal poured into their bellies by angry demons.
Well, that's pretty awful too.
Yeah. That too is a karmic mirror. So I'm guessing in all versions of hell, someone was just like, you know what? If you're a wrathful, vengeful asshole, your eternal punishment is having someone be a wrathful, vengeful asshole to you.
Yeah. Well, and also, like I said, that thing of being submerged, because it's like something you have to hold on to, so it is something that kind of drags you down. So I do
Yeah.
like that picture of that in Dante's. And then in the Japanese, I mean, it just makes perfect sense. Like you're basically holding uh, burning coals or iron inside of yourself. Like that's a good mental picture of what it kind of feels like to hold that emotion, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Um,
fair enough.
the small thing about the Japanese hells for wrath is it's a temporary sentence. Damnation is not eternal. Souls suffer a fixed karmic duration based on their misdeeds before they can eventually be reborn.
So it's
Um,
like sort of a
but
purgatory.
on it, yeah. But honestly, if you were a wrathful person and you just kept doing it, you're gonna be there a while.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
kind of what purgatory is to Catholics, except I don't think you're getting punished while you're there. It's just like an interim phase where you shed the stuff that like was bad during your lifetime, the stuff that you held on to.
Yeah.
But if you have enough people
Um,
praying for you, you can get out of there faster.
that is true.
Intercession. Well,
Um,
I'm not claiming it's true. I'm saying that's what the Catholics believe.
well, yeah, we can't for sure say it's true.
I'm not
Um,
claiming it as a truth. I'm
yeah.
providing the idea.
Um, but yeah, that is kind of a coverage of the sin of wrath. Um, Mike, is there any way you have been wrathful in your life?
Well, yeah, I've had plenty of that. I've had years of being super angry. You know, um, definitely know. That's why I know the weight that it bears,
Yeah,
and that it's kind of like a poison. You know,
yeah,
because it influences your experience, but you hold on to it because you feel like it feels just to be mad. Letting go feels like you're making it better or easier for the other person, you know. When in reality, it just means you're not carrying it.
true.
So,
Um, I've been wrathful in my life. Like a great example, which I use a lot, is in the game Dead by Daylight. Like you can be like there's the whole thing of um if you lose at a game and people make fun of you like this, like the survivors teabag you or something at the end of the game, like you can be mad at them, but taking it and making the game A Worse Place for Other People in your next game is kind of wrathful. And I mean, I've even taken it like a step further. Like, not only will I play a harder game the next game, to feel like I've gotten some sort of revenge, but like I at one point build a whole persona of genuinely hating all people who play Survivor in the game. Um, and I mean that's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been pretty wrathful at times in my life. I can definitely think of times that I have been bitter. I think in today's society, wrath is less so like actual violence, and it is more so people being bitter and like under the surface being constantly angry that the world is the way that it is.
Yeah. And like I think it's a fair response when you see the world sometimes not, at least a fair response to the world not ending up being the way that you thought it was going to be, because it's a form of disappointment, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you have any more thoughts on wrath, Mike?
I was trying to find. I don't know. I mean, we maybe could move on to the question portion just because that would open up the uh, conversation on wrath more.
Okay.
But I was just trying to find some song lyrics. There's a band I like called Nothing More, and there's a song called This Is the Time. And it's just basically just about letting go of your anger.
Yeah.
And I can't find the one I was looking for, so I'll just read one of the other. Well, if I can find any of it, I would recommend giving that song a listen. It is a good song.
Hmm.
Where is it? Oh well. But basically there's just a part in it that's like it's about like because it's also called ballast, and it's about basically like anger being an anchor. And can I find that one part? Yeah, there it is. The pre-chorus. Blah 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 blah. Drowning just to keep the score. So you basically that's the only one line of it. But you know, it's sort of about how we hold on to the anchors that drown ourselves just to keep score on the other person because you can't let go of it,
Very
which I
true.
find it very poetic and applicable to this situation.
Yeah. It reminds me of the lyrics of the song "Modern Love." At the in the second verse, he says, "I let him in. Oh man, I let him win. I burned my house down just to hear him scream my name."
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but yeah, very wise man, a mentor of mine, told me a long time ago that hating someone is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Oh,
Um,
that's funny because the thing that I've been saying for years is basically the same thing, but I hadn't heard it said that way.
yeah,
Okay,
but
I
yeah,
just say it's a poison that tastes like righteousness because it
yeah,
does. It feels right, but
true.
it kills you.
Yeah. Um, and I mean, honestly, I think the reason that it's a poison is just because if you hate someone and you're actively like thinking about hating them, you are expending your hard-earned limited energy, like wishing negativity and bad on someone who probably doesn't care what you think or like who you are at all. Um, like they're just chilling and walking down the street. Um,
And all that negativity is still going through your mind, which means you get to experience all that negativity that you're wishing upon them,
yeah,
and it doesn't affect them at all.
being
Aside
angry.
from acting on it, and then it affects them if you do go and commit acts of violence or something.
Yeah, but then you're wrathful.
Exactly. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, that the the hanging on to the feeling doesn't do anything to the other person. So
Yeah, being angry uses up so much energy.
mhm.
Is not even funny. And like, uh, what was I getting to? Um, although when someone finds out that like you hate them, like hating someone gives them so much power over you. Like if someone finds out that you're hating on them and they don't care, like uh,
Yeah,
like oh
exactly.
my
Then
gosh,
like
it makes them happy because they're getting to you. They know that they've gotten your goat, so to speak. Uh, and it just happened to me the other day. Someone was like really hating on me, and I like didn't really care that they were, and so I actually taunted them, and I was like, the free rent inside your head is really nice. I'm loving it.
exactly, yeah.
um, but yeah, no, that's some good thoughts on wrath and hate and anger and all that stuff. We're about a minute 15 seconds early, but that is okay. Let's move on to our question of the day, and I will actually put it in here. Our question of the day, which is why do we get defensive? Capitalize that there. There we go. Question of the day: why do we get defensive?
I can't do that yet. For a list of suggestions, say help.
My PlayStation keeps thinking. Whenever I say question, my PlayStation thinks that I'm talking to it.
Nice.
And then whenever I intentionally say question, it doesn't respond. Like
Yeah.
right there.
Well, why do you think we get defensive?
Um, I know why I get defensive. I get defensive. Well, I mean, it comes back to what I've said about pretty much all of the seven deadly sins, but especially pride, is that it all comes back down. Oh, sorry, excuse me. It all comes back down to fear. Every negative emotion is based in fear, um, in my opinion. And what is it? Being defensive, well, really, pride is based in a fear of a negative self-image, um, and it's not. It can be not only a negative self-image for yourself; it can be a negative self-image for your country or whatever you happen to have pride in, your kids. Like, yeah. For example, if I meet a girl, for example, out at the club, and a guy looks at me and says, um, "Oh, the tie you're wearing looks really dumb. I bet you're a stupid person," or something like that. I get defensive because I don't want the girl who is there to think that I am a stupid person or I don't have good fashion sense. Um, Now, if I didn't care what she thought at all, then it would be no problem. Um, and I would be less likely to get defensive in that situation. Um, I mean, I guess even if it wasn't about a girl or anything, if somebody just my trigger is people calling me stupid. I will just call myself out right here. And so I will get defensive about that all the time. I don't want anyone to see me as a stupid person. Um, and so that's why I get defensive, to really cover my butt and have people think what I want them to think about me.
I think that's very much in line of what I was going to say too. I might add to beyond the uh like the negative self-image thing or whatever is like I think that's also rooted then in identification
Mhm.
with the idea. So you get defensive because you find that idea to be an extension of yourself. And so when they challenge that or they want or what they're challenging that it is creating an opposing image to the way you view yourself. If you don't want somebody to think you're dumb, I mean you've uh also got to not view yourself as dumb,
Or
because
you
if
somewhat think that they're right.
well that's what I was trying to get at here is if
Yeah,
you are offended by what they said, that's because it's echoing something that you've heard internally. And it's all based in your identity that you want to identify with being a smart person. Or if what you said, like that opinion or idea that they're challenging, or what you're wearing, or whatever, if you see that as an extension of yourself, then them challenging that is them challenging you. And then you've become defensive because you feel the need to demonstrate that that is not you. But
yeah,
I think to the extent that you don't identify with that, and then beyond that, to the extent that you don't, you know, if, like if you don't, I feel the need or identify with the fact that they called you stupid, and part of you also thinks you might be stupid, and you're wrestling with that, and now they've triggered that. Like you wouldn't get defensive if you're like, "Oh, I'm not stupid," so you're up, you're wrong. So
yeah,
it's just a shift in that, like, and also not identifying with being stupid or smart. That would be another way of removing yourself from that because then they can't really, like, who's to stake a claim against who you are?
yeah.
So
Um,
I just think it is a lot
I
of that. Yeah.
I like that you said. I like that you said that what they're saying could be something internal that you heard, because people who have been bullies in my life, I always look at them and I'm like, dude, I'm like 33 years old. Like, you can say literally anything you want about me, and it's nothing compared to the shit that my own inner demons say about me every morning when I wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you're gonna tell me I'm stupid, believe me, I've told me I'm stupid more than one time.
Right. But then it's getting through to you because you're just hearing echoes outside of yourself from what you heard inside of yourself.
Yeah.
So you're reacting more to how you feel about those thoughts when they come up internally. One thing I've done, not
What is
that it's
nice though is
removed,
that these people can't hurt you if like you're already used to that.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like one thing I've done tremendously for my own self image and stuff too is just have really, really in the last like 5 years or so, probably started to just actually believe that I am like awesome and
Yeah.
just things like that where it's like, no, I'm not gonna let somebody bother me if they say that I suck because obviously they're wrong.
Yeah.
So
I've never
not that that
seen
makes it right, but it does make it is entirely shift the narrative internally.
uh,
So
I've never seen How I Met Your Mother, but Neil Patrick Harris playing Barney Stinson has one of my favorite quotes. He says, "Whenever I get sad, I stop being sad and be awesome instead."
yeah, because
Yeah.
then if you're not identified with that, like you can't feel attacked. If somebody's just like you suck, you're like, no, have a nice day, like. So
right?
that part of it, and I think too, just I kind of lost my train of thought there.
Choo choo.
Oh well. Where
No,
were
but
we?
I get what you mean. Um, I don't know where you were, but I was kind of focused on that my microphone keeps magically appearing and disappearing.
That's just what my
But
hair's doing.
yeah, you look like you have a pompadour or something.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, but I
Right now, but I
I
need to
think
get it cut
where
because it's 90 degrees out, and I'm basically always wearing a hat.
yeah
So,
where I was, which might remind you, was I was talking about um, how the things that people say can hurt you less when you already tell yourself those things.
well, okay, so they can hurt you less, but they can also hurt you more. If
True.
you're telling yourself hurtful things and then they say it back to you, it's gonna hurt, you know.
Yeah.
So there's that regard, but that and oh yeah, I remember I was just gonna say basically like
Good.
I tend to get a lot more anger over stupid things than over what other people are saying or doing to me at this point. I'll just get crabby because I didn't eat or I'm tired or I got too much sun or something. And, you know,
Yeah.
more than like because somebody else was a jerk to me. So that's been the harder
Oh, you're saying
regard
that
for
other
me.
things
Is
bug you more?
yeah, yeah. A lot more of when I get crabby now is not because somebody else or I need to feel the need to defend myself as much as it's just you know, I need to meet all of my personal needs or else crabby Michael comes out more often, you know. So
Understandable. I mean, they have shown that it is easier for people to get angry in a hot room with no AC.
makes perfect sense. That's all I'm saying though, is like, yeah, that's a lot more for me. But then if that stems into wrath, then it's also like how do you separate actual wrath from a moment of just being overstimulated and needing to vent that out too, you know? Because sometimes you're just like,
Well,
my clothes are touching me wrong. It's too hot. I'm hungry. I'm tired. And I just need to go, and then I'll feel better. And then was that wrath or was that how I processed my anger in the moment?
oh
Like,
no, that's not wrath. I
so,
mean, wrath is pretty clearly defined as like
yeah.
having an excessive hatred towards something. Like
But
it
when you're
isn't
already
even
really
just
mad
getting
and then
angry.
you're overstimulated, that can fuel your wrath. So that's
Oh
all I'm
yeah.
saying. It's like, you know, a
If
lot of it
you
is,
if you have a day like that where you're overstimulated and angry and you push it down and become bitter and be like, I hate that life is like this,
yeah,
then that would be wrath. Or if you get extremely angry and are like, I'm gonna kick my dog because of
right.
the day I've had, that
Well, and
would be
no
wrath
matter
as well.
if you hold on to it, if you internalize it, you're just taking it back out on yourself in one way or another too.
It
So,
always hurts
you know,
someone.
and you have to be able to like extend grace and forgiveness to your own self, which can be difficult too, you know?
Hmm.
Like if you do get mad in the moment and then if you beat yourself up over it and you get more mad and blah, like, you know, you also just have to be able to be like, okay, like I'm just obviously getting overstimulated and crabby and blah blah blah, and like I can accept that this doesn't, you know, define me, and I can forgive myself,
Yeah,
and I can also be like, instead of saying I hate life, how could it do this to me? You can just be like, I hate today. I'm struggling particularly a lot today, or I'm right now not feeling well, and I need to express it without just being like everything's always like this. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really good at falling on the everything's always like this mindset, even if I sound like a
yeah,
very positive person. When I get really mad, I'm just like everything always sucks and it's never gonna get better, you know? Because you can just throw a
yeah.
little tantrum and feel better for a moment. I don't know why you don't really
Uh,
feel better, but you feel that weird wrathful vindication. It's the same like rut, the
yeah.
same mindset.
It
You're
was
doing a
kind of
thing that
like
makes you feel
earlier.
worse to think you're gonna feel better.
Yeah. it was kind of like earlier. You guys don't know because like we weren't on screen, but earlier when my internet cut out, I wrote to Mike, and at one point I said "F my life," and then I said I shouldn't say "F my life" because my life is pretty good. And he
Yeah.
said maybe just "F this inconvenience," and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think you should absolutely be able to express that you're going through a difficult time, but that doesn't mean you also need to identify with it again. And that's
yeah,
speaking to myself too. I know that it's very easy to just be like, everything's always bad and my life is bad. And like, I don't know. Am I trying to say that to convince myself of that? Am I trying to garner? I think perhaps sometimes I do that because I want other people to pity me and be like, oh, they're there. But instead of
yeah.
doing that, I can also just be like, can you, oh, they're there for me because I'm having a struggle and I need that instead of trying to manipulate somebody into doing it. Uh, you know?
Yep. No, I get what you mean.
So
Yeah. Well, I mean that is a pretty good talk on like why we get defensive and stuff. This
I
is
don't know if
kind
there's
of
too much
a
more to say.
there really isn't.
But if
Yeah,
this is kind of the end of our one series with the deadly sins or whatever, so
this
maybe
is a
that's a
good
good place to end it off, and then we can start up with another thing next time.
yeah, this is a good short cap.
Mhm.
Um, but it's interesting. We skipped the first 15 minutes, and then
And
like we talked about everything in a half hour.
yes, what the heck?
Yeah.
Well, we could throw the Fauci part back in the end if you want to. I don't have a whole lot to
No,
say
I think
about
I'll
that,
do
to
an
be completely honest. That's why I pled the fifth earlier.
true. Um, I just want to say I'm sad that Stephen Colbert is off the air because I got a lot of my news from him, and so I don't really know a lot of what's going on. I have been trying to watch Jimmy Kimmel more, um, but it's not the same.
Yeah. Well, that's what we were talking about before this
Yeah,
too. We both went and looked at that ground news thing that every single person on YouTube seems to want to push nowadays. So I'm sure 5 years from now there'll be a scandal or something. But as of right now, I was like, this seems at least like a good place
we
to
are not
find a more
sponsored by
broad
Ground
spectrum.
News. I just want
Oh,
to say that.
absolutely not. They're not giving me money. Don't go sign up for it because I'm talking about it. Absolutely do not.
Yeah,
They're not paying me. I was just saying I thought that was I'd give it
if you
a
want to
nice
sponsor me,
a shout out. Yeah, if you want to sponsor us, then I take back everything I said about that scandal in 5 years. You're golden. I
yeah,
love you. It's the best place
yeah,
to find unbiased news, but the rest you got to unlock by paying for it. If you want me to keep saying nice things about that.
true.
But I was just I just did like the fact that we were able to find more of a spectrum of what was out there in the news than just if I were to go on to like I don't even know CNN.com. Is that even their website? I've never been to CNN's website. I couldn't tell you what you'd get there, but I have to imagine it's a lot like their network where it's just a lot of padding.
But yeah, our lips are sealed for a certain amount of money.
Unsealed for a certain amount. So
Yeah,
correct.
unsealed for a certain amount of money.
And
Um,
only if I know for
speaking
right
of,
now that you're not an awful company.
oh yeah. Speaking of money, I do want to do an ad read here.
Go for it.
To quote Big Tug, but first, let's do an ad read. Or let's do an ad. So, uh, my main channel is AfroX. This here is my personal channel, Drag Gillespie. But my main channel is AfroX, and on AfroX I talk about anime. If you're interested in anime at all, that is a great place to go look. I have almost 900 videos, and we are getting very close to 600 subscribers. We're at like I think either $5.91 or $5.93 right now, something like that. But we are really pushing to get to 600. So if you wanted to go check that out, that would be great. And subscribe to it. Mike, are you subscribed to AfroX?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. Mike, are you donating me on Patreon?
Nah, I
That-
can't afford that right now. I'm sorry.
That
I'm
is
donating my
all
time
right.
to you in person. You're welcome.
That is true. Mike may not be donating to me on Patreon, but you definitely can donate to me on Patreon.
That just means that you guys who are watching need to make up for my lack.
Yes.
You need to go make up for my lack.
You can, yeah. You can donate to me on Patreon at www.patreon.com/AfroX, where you will find a page saying AfroX is creating anime content, and I certainly am. And that page, you can donate to it, and it will be just like donating to this channel if you like the Great Minds podcast. And yeah, on there you can sign up to donate in increments of $5, $10, $30, $50, or $100 a month, whatever you would like. And there are different rewards based on the different tiers. And yeah, that is pretty much all to say about that. If you are a fan of the video game Dead by Daylight, I have a Dead by Daylight channel, which is called Terror Time. The actual address is Terror Time 666, so you can check that out. And I have over 200 videos on there of my Killer Main games. So yeah, you can check that out as well. And yeah, that is pretty much all of the ad stuff that I needed to go over. Mike, did you want to plug anything of yours?
I got nothing to plug right now, so go over to his things.
Okay.
You know where to find me. I'm right here.
You pointed the wrong way, but I still love you.
Wait, on my screen, you're right there. On your screen, are you on right there?
Yes.
Are you right there? Where are you on your screen? On my screen, I'm pointing at you right now.
Right now, I'm
also,
pointing
you're
at
putting.
you.
So we flip-flopped on each other's screens. Interesting. I'm gonna have to go watch the video and see who's where now. So this guy, wherever he is on my screen,
okay.
He's in the direction, the fourth dimensional direction that involves all angles of the third dimension at once simultaneously. So I can't describe it to you in human terms.
Yeah. I actually watched a video the other day that explained all the way up to the seventh dimension. And I thought it was really cool them explaining the fourth dimension of time being like pretty much your entire life becomes a worm. That can be set to the side and observed.
That this is something that I'm just going to drop without backing up in any way whatsoever at all. So
go ahead.
But I do think that time,
we're not experts.
There's a physical object in a certain capacity of existence.
I'm sorry, what?
I said I think time is a physical object within a certain capacity of existence or a certain way of measuring it if we could get to that level.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if our entire universe has a timeline, then that timeline can be set to the side and observed.
But that just means then that your consciousness is like a three-dimensional cross-section of a four-dimensional object.
Exactly.
Anyways, then with that one,
it's very confusing and timey-wimey stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's confusing to a certain extent, but I've got a pretty solid format of talking about it in my head. That doesn't mean I guess I understand it.
I've never actually seen Doctor Who. I think I've only seen like little clips.
The same, unfortunately. I feel like I would quite enjoy it, but I have not taken the time to figure out how to like get my toes wet and start consuming that because I'd have to stream it somewhere. I didn't watch it on BBC like on cable when I had that.
Yeah.
Probably it's on YouTube, the old ones.
Yeah. When it comes to Super Who Lock, I'm like only Lock. I was interested in Sherlock for about the first season.
And then you're just like, never mind.
Well, yeah, I never started the second season, but yeah, kind of more the bigger sin is that I don't like the show Supernatural.
Oh yeah, I know the show, but I haven't watched enough of it to gauge. The
Yeah,
clips I see seem like maybe I could enjoy it, but
I
I
started
don't know
getting
enough.
I started getting into it years ago, probably like a good 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
When it was just starting, and I saw like the first 5 episodes, and like by the Bloody Mary episode, I was like, every episode has the exact same plot. It's just another monster of the week. And I was like, I'm out. I'm not into this anymore.
Yeah. I do like the what is it like the '67 Impala SS they've got though. That's a pretty nice car.
That is a really nice car. To be honest, I did see like a show from an episode from later seasons, and it was one about like this woman who like wants to go home, but then she finds out that she was murdered and she's actually a ghost that the brothers can see, and then her husband has gotten remarried and has a new life, and then she's like, once she sees this, she's able to like move on to the afterlife or something, and that was a
Yeah,
pretty good episode, I will say.
it sounds like it.
Yeah,
I need to watch
but
more of that.
but
But
yeah, the supernatural or like magic
you're not a
show that
fan of that,
I'm
yeah.
Yeah, the magic show that I really got into was I watched all 4 seasons of Charmed, and then I also watched all four. I think it was either 3 or 4 seasons of the remake of Charmed.
I've watched some Charm, but not a lot. I watched a lot of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Does that count?
Yes, yep. Dude, I watched the cartoon growing up.
And the
I watched the
show.
TV show growing up, and then I
Yep.
watched the edgy Netflix TV show.
I can't say I've watched
Um,
the Netflix TV show, unfortunately. I didn't know that
the
was a thing.
Netflix TV show. It's very dark, but it's also very cool.
Okay. Is
I
it
like
just like a
Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay, like Wednesday. I'd have to check it out then. That'd be cool.
It is a lot like Wednesday, but I was saying that I like Wednesday.
Oh, you like Wednesday. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah,
Man,
fair.
how did this go from talking about Wrath to talking about edgy Netflix shows?
Good question.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm gonna cut it for today. This was kind of a short one. Sorry to
You didn't make it to
everybody.
55 minutes though.
Yeah, sorry to everybody who was stuck in a black screen for like the first 12 minutes of this. I really hope that you like skipped to
Well, like I
like.
said, that portion was brought to you by T-Mobile.
Oh yeah, yep. Sponsored by T-Mobile.
Yep, yep. And if they want us to say nicer things about them again,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
maybe just make your network work.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Why
considered
am
that?
why am I paying $50 a month for internet that cuts out when I start live streaming?
I'm happy with my internet, but I'm not even going to say their name because they still don't deserve it. So,
Oh, okay. Cool.
Ooh.
Well, we don't know the ultimate question, but as always, the answer will forever be 42. My name is Uri Gillespie. I am a philosopher.
I'm Michael. Peace out.
See you later, YouTube, and don't bring your towel and don't panic.